Hey everyone, welcome back. Retirement. It's something we all think about, right?
For sure.
But when it comes to planning that retirement income, well, things can get a little murky. I mean, you've got experts saying you need 40% of your pre-retirement income, others saying you need 80%. It's a lot to digest.
It really is. And frankly, it can be super confusing, especially when you're trying to make those big financial decisions.
Absolutely. That's why we're diving deep today into, well, a potentially better way to look at this whole retirement income thing. Less about fixed percentages and more about what your expenses might actually look like throughout retirement.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, instead of just fixating on a single number, our sources actually suggest we need to consider how our spending might evolve over time.
Okay, I'm all ears. So how do we even begin to wrap our heads around that?
Well, they introduced this idea of an upside-down bell curve for retirement
It's an
expenses.
upside down bell curve,
Yeah, think about it this way. You've got your initial go-go years, right?
the go-go years. I like that.
All right, so maybe you're traveling more, pursuing hobbies, maybe even helping family financially. Naturally, expenses tend to be a bit higher in this phase.
Makes sense. You're finally free to do all those things you've been putting off.
Exactly. Then things might settle down a bit, enter the slow-go phase.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your mortgage is paid off, you're not working, so your lifestyle is a bit more relaxed.
So you're saying expenses could actually decrease during this period?
Potentially, yeah.
Hmm.
Especially if you're entering retirement debt-free. But here's the thing. The curve swings upward again in the, as they call it, no-go years.
No go. Okay, sounds a bit ominous.
Well, it's not necessarily bad, but it's where things like increased healthcare costs, the ever-present inflation, and potentially even the loss of a spouse could lead to higher expenses again.
Wow, so it's not just about how much we save overall, but also about when we might need that money the most. This upside down bell curve really does change the game when it comes to planning.
It definitely adds a layer of complexity, yeah.
Now, speaking of planning, our source suggests something called an annuity ladder to help navigate this curve. Is that is that the magic solution we've all been waiting for?
Well, I wouldn't call it magic, but an annuity ladder can be a pretty powerful tool.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me. How does this ladder thing actually work?
Sure. So instead of taking all your retirement income at once, the idea is to create a stream of income that lines up with your expected expenses. You do this by using multiple annuities that start paying out at different times.
So instead of a lump sum, you're staggering the income.
Interesting. Our source gave this example with let's say, a $1 million retirement fund.
Right.
They recommend putting $700,000 towards immediate income, then another $200,000 in an annuity that kicks in after, say, 5 to 10 years, and then the last 100 grand in an annuity that starts after 10 plus years.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. You see, those deferred annuities, the ones that start paying out later, often come with guaranteed income increases.
Built-in raises, pretty much. And that could be a huge help when it comes to dealing with inflation, especially in today's economic climate.
That's a great point. So you're basically building in protection against the rising cost of living.
Exactly. And another big plus is that many of these annuities also allow for early activation. So let's say you have an unexpected medical expense or something comes up, you're not completely stuck waiting for that later payout date. You've got some flexibility.
That built-in safety net sounds amazing. I mean, especially in today's world where, things feel pretty unpredictable.
Right. But of course, no financial strategy is perfect, and annuities do have their, potential downsides.
Okay, let's talk about those. What are some of the things people should watch out for with annuities?
Well, one thing to remember is that annuities are primarily designed for income generation, not wealth accumulation. So if you die early, they may not be the best way to pass on assets to your heirs.
That's a good point. So it's not like a traditional investment where you're building up a principal that you can then bequeath to your family.
Exactly. You're trading that potential growth for the security and predictability of a guaranteed income stream.
So the annuity ladder, it's a tool, a powerful tool, it seems, but definitely not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Absolutely. Knowing yourself, your spending habits, and your overall goals is absolutely key before making any decisions.
Couldn't agree more. And this whole conversation, this deep dive, it really boils down to that, doesn't it? Understanding your own individual needs and how those needs might shift over time.
It really does. And that brings up a crucial question for everyone listening. Thinking about your own lifestyle, where do you see yourself on that retirement expense curve? And knowing that, how might an annuity ladder or any other strategy for that matter fit into your plan? It's something to think about.
Absolutely. Great questions to ponder as we all navigate this exciting and sometimes daunting path toward retirement. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time.